welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly with JK and Coach Angelo, and of course, joining us once again. Coach, kind of a rough weekend here at the ODI Center for the Aberdeen Wings. Some bright moments for sure that can be taken out. I thought, again, the special teams was pretty good, especially the penalty kill. But what do you take away? And I know that's kind of a pat question I always start things off with. But what are your thoughts on the weekend overall, and what can you take away to improve upon?
Well, 2 weeks ago when we played here at home against Bismarck, we absolutely stunk. There's no nice way to say it. Our battle level was not good enough. I thought our battle level on Friday was better. We just didn't take care of the puck good enough. I thought our goalie was real good and gave us a chance. And Saturday's game against Austin is very puzzling for me. I obviously coached the entire game start to finish, and I've watched the game start to finish as closely as I've ever broken down video 2 times now. I've watched it start to finish 2 times, and we did tons of good things in that game. We had a couple lulls defensively. I felt like we paid for every lull in that game that we had, and we didn't bury enough of our chances. But I come out of Saturday's game disappointed with the loss, disappointed with the record on the homestand, disappointed that we missed an opportunity to get 2 points. But as far as the players doing things that they need to do to be successful, we had way more scoring chances than we did on Friday. We had way more shots. We stopped and started. We played the game the right way. We just paid for every mistake. There's a lot of goofy things going on right now early on in this season that I'm confident if we can just get through this and harden our skin, thicken our skin, and get better every day, we are going to be better in the long haul because of it. Mm-hmm. That's just how I feel right now. So again, not getting the result stinks, but process was much better on Saturday. I've never coached a game and lost 6-2 and looked at the tape 2 times in a row and felt so good about some of the things that we did. Satisfied, no. Happy, not really, but more pleased than I ever thought I would be losing a game 6-2.
Well, and it was really 2 totally different games. Friday's game, it just had a totally different feel than Saturday's. Saturday's was a lot more exciting. There was a lot more happening, hits and a lot. The pace was faster and so on too. And I think it was an exciting matchup. I had said a couple times during the broadcast that for a game that was at 5-2, it didn't feel like that. It felt like a much more evenly matched game, even though the scoreboard didn't obviously indicate that. Couple of, obviously one of those lulls has to be the final minute of the first period, giving up 2 quick goals like that. That's a tough one. What kind of things can you do to overcome those lulls?
Well, I mean, I don't know. We had a left-handed defenseman playing the right side, and that's just our balance right now. We have more lefties than righties, and the left-handed defenseman on the ice at the time had a hard time. This was the 3rd goal, corralling the puck on his offside. It bounced over his stick. Our 3rd forward in the zone didn't think there was any chance that the puck was going to take that type of a bounce, so he didn't start back. Mm-hmm. And we ended up giving up a 3-on-1 and obviously couldn't keep the puck out of our net. It teaches a great lesson that it ain't ever over till it's over. The play is never dead till there's a whistle. The game is never over. In this case, the period isn't over till there's the final horn, the buzzer, to end it. So everybody's got to be on their toes until there's a full stoppage of play. I guess we can take that from it. And then the 2nd goal that they scored with around a minute left, if I'm not mistaken, we played that perfectly. It was a snapshot from 50 feet. Mm-hmm. So it's just the way she's going right now for us. And I really like some of the things we did in the first period. I like that we kept playing until the end. We finished our checks. We were much better in the battles. They outchanced us by 1. It's real interesting. 3 of the goals they scored, I wouldn't have even classified them as scoring chances if they hadn't resulted in actual goals. So we can be pissed, excuse the French, about losing, and we are, but we can't lose all of our rationality here. We did a lot of good things. We got to build off of these good things, and we got to find a way to get 2 points in Brookings on Friday so we can cap this thing in 4 games.
Right. Well, and then obviously it doesn't help to have a goal that was waved off that for all intents and purposes, once again, I mean, it's one of those things that, you can't complain too much about it, but the fact is that it sure looked like a good goal to me. And, they call interference, and I think it was kind of ticky-tack, to be perfectly honest. I mean, but that's the way it goes, and that obviously that makes it a different game at that point too, so.
Well, I'm not picking on the referee here. I just said, and I was a goaltender. I wasn't a very good one. And if I had every goal that was scored on me like that called back for incidental contact, I might still be playing. I mean, we teach our guys to go to the net and screen the goalie. And I thought our guy, I think it was Fitzgerald, he did a real good job being at the net. And again, I'm not here to argue with the referee. I just that rule, incidental contact, like for me. Like, I'm not sure about that. I thought that the player Fitzy did what he had to do to get to the net, which is what we want to do more of. So that's the way it goes. But like, this is, again, just kind of my point about strange things going on. I mean, we've played 5 home games. We've had 3 goals called back. Mm-hmm. Like, these are momentum swings in the hockey game that our 17 to 20-year-olds are trying to battle through and deal with. And so, I want our guys going to the net harder now as a result of that incidental contact. I don't want that to discourage us. We don't want to run the goalie or impede the goalie's progress or anything like that. But we want to keep going to the net, and we want to get rewarded for it. Mm-hmm. And so, again, I'm not here to argue with the referee. That rule, incidental contact, boy, that's a tricky one for me.
And it better, if you're going to make that call, I think it needs to be really obvious. And in this case, it wasn't. But on the flip side, it seems like you guys are having a little bit of trouble clearing out guys from the crease and around the crease, where Peter's doing a good job, or both goaltenders, of course, but Peter playing the bulk of the minutes here lately, making these initial stops. But you're asking the goaltender to make 2-3 saves in a row, and that's different. That's putting a lot more pressure on the goaltender. So that's something that you see a lot of stick work down low, but got to clear those bodies up too, huh?
Well, I look at it 2 ways. Again, as a former goaltender, like, we want goalies that believe if it's a 5-on-0, they should stop it. We want goalies that believe if they give up 5 rebounds in a row, they're going to have all 5. Like, that's the internal fuel and the fire and the competitiveness we want in our goalies, and I believe that they have that. I also, as a coach, take pride in we want to play a structure whereby there's one and dones. Mm-hmm. We ask our goalie to make the first save. He wants to make the second if there is one, but we take care of it for him. And we have not done a good enough job of that lately. And part of it is mindset. It's more mindset than it is technique. Okay. I mean, boxing out is real simple. We have a rule. It's a rule in hockey. If the goalie makes the first save and the puck's laying there, you take care of the man. The goalie will take care of the puck. And if in the process the puck is in your space as a defenseman, you've got to clear it east-west, and that's side to side. If you clear it north-south, where's it going to go? It's going to go right to their point man. He's going to put it right back on the net, and that's certainly not a one and done. So let's buy the goalie some time by going east-west for him to get set, and then if he has to make another save, at least he's got a second or two to reset and retract that puck. We haven't done a good enough job of that lately. We haven't been horrible at it. It's just every time we haven't been on our game, it's ended up in our net lately. So, like I said, this is hardening our skin. This is a good character test for us right now. Let's deal with this now. Let's get better today. Let's go through this pain and frustration now, and let's just be better when it's all over with.
Build from it, right? Well, and that's another thing that during the broadcast I mentioned that if I could sum it up in one word, the difference, especially in Saturday night's game, was accuracy. It just seemed like when they took shots, they were on goal and making the goaltender work or sneaking one past, where we had a lot that were on the side of the net, off the post, and part of that's because of traffic. I mean, things are getting deflected and so on, but with the amount of shots that were taken and that you had a lot of good scoring chances, like you said, it's hard to not have that go the other way, but it is what it is.
Well, looking at it from a progression standpoint, and that's my job as a coach, it's to push them, kick them in the backside when they need it, but I can never lose my rationality, and sometimes that's hard for a young Italian like me to do. But here's the reality of it. Earlier in the year, and it's still very early, we were passing up shots. Mm-hmm. Now I feel like we're starting to shoot it more. I thought early in the game on Saturday, we shot it more, we hit the net, we went to the net. Sometimes we got some rebounds, sometimes we didn't. And then later in the game, we started trying to shoot a little bit harder because we wanted to get back in so badly, and we missed the net. So I believe it's coming. We got to force this a little more. We got to push our limits a little bit more because there are no moral victories in this sport. And one thing that's becoming real clear is nobody's going to do us any favors. Mm-hmm. So I still want us to shoot the puck a little bit more than we have, but I feel like it's coming. I mean, you don't go from 17 or 18 shots on Friday to 37 or 38 on Saturday if you don't know what you're doing. We know what to do. We know how to shoot. We know how to get there. We just got to want to do it, and not to make this a 1 hour long show here, but just to provide some perspective in this, when you have a lot of first year players, they're used to in high school and midget hockey handling it one more time,
right,
making one more move to get around the defenseman that quite honestly they're better than. In this league, you got to make the simple play. Whether you're a goal scorer, whether you're a grinder, whether you're 6'3" or you're 5'8", you got to make the simple play. We're learning that. It's just taken some time. Unfortunately, it's happening at home, and it's happening while some other weird things are going on.
Right.
So we got to get through this. We got to get through this. We got to keep trying to get better. We got to control the things we can control, and that starts with working unbelievably hard, start to finish. And we got to do that on Friday night. It starts and ends with battle level. That was better on Saturday. Let's do that on Friday, and let's make sure we get the other things right.
Absolutely. We'll never outwork. One quick question that I got actually via Facebook, emailed to me, that was asking about the lineup changes from Friday to Saturday and so on, and what thoughts go into that. Could you kind of let our listeners know, like, why the different faces Friday versus Saturday, and then you've got to, what kind of thought goes into making one line and then changing it up 2 weeks later or whatever? You're looking for chemistry, is that it, or what, or how does that work?
You're looking, first of all, to put the lineup in that gives you the best chance to have success. And I'm a real big believer that you got to do the job every night. So on Saturday night, we put 2 other faces in. We took 2 guys out. Friday, we made a lot of changes because we weren't real good the weekend before. I wasn't real happy with some things we were doing with our battle level. Chemistry's real good, but you have to know that this group of players, for example, is going to click.
Sure.
And everybody has to battle every single night. If you battle and you do it right and you play hard away from the puck, then we can start to talk about chemistry. But we're still in that phase where we're trying to figure some things out, and we need the battle level intact every night. If that's intact every night, then we can start to talk about chemistry. You only get one chance as a coach to get this right. You only get one opportunity to make investments, and that's early on in the season. So that's what we're trying to do right now. I would love to be able. The Montreal Canadiens right now in the National League are 9-0. I believe they're 9-0 right now, and their coach hasn't made one lineup change. Smart guy. Players are giving him a reason to keep the same lineup in.
Right.
I could use a little bit of that right now, and that's what we're trying to get to.
Certainly. All right, well, Coach, a very positive note that was announced today, actually. We want to say congratulations to Peter Thome, who committed to the UND, to North Dakota. So congratulations to Peter, and that says so much for this program, too, because that is 5 of the last 6 goaltenders, I believe, that have committed to D1. So it's got to be some incentive for goaltenders to want to come to the Wings, but certainly it means that this program is doing some things right.
Yeah, I hope so. We're really happy for Peter. I don't want to speak for Peter. He's his own man, but I'm pretty sure that was his dream school. That was his #1 choice. UND is a charming place. It's a program with a great, great history and tradition. Beautiful building. Grand Forks is a hockey town. Hockey is the sport at UND. So good for him. He's worked real hard. He's a big goalie, real good athleticism. He's got real good inner fire and drive, and I think North Dakota's, they got a good plan of attack here. They know that Peter needs to keep getting better every day. They're gonna let him keep developing, and their hope is to bring in a real good goalie when the time comes. So good for him. Hopefully this is the first of many, and as you mentioned, I'm really proud of what we've been able to do here as an organization with developing goaltenders, and yeah, it does help on the recruiting front. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that this commitment inspires all of our guys to have a real good week, have a real good game on Friday, and hopefully it excites the next great goalie to want to come to Aberdeen and be part of this neat tradition of developing goalies. I'm real proud of that. I feel real fortunate to be talking to you about this right now.
Yeah, definitely. Great to hear. And on a personal note, I'm a big Sioux fan, so I'll be cheering for you, Peter.
Will they beat the Sioux much longer?
Well, that's
What's
true.
going on there?
There'll always be the Fighting Sioux to me,
Yeah, me too.
but we don't even know what's happening. There's still a vote, and a lot of people are saying they don't want any name change apparently. But we'll see. Either way, we'll be cheering for you at UND. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. Next game, of course, 7:30 at the Larson in Brookings as take on the Blizzard. So you can catch that on 94.1 The Rock and FastHockey.com.